We know the typical adolescent brain is not mature until age 25, and this means impulsive behaviors are common, that they may be having some really grown up emotions and feelings like crushes or sexual or romantic attraction, but they don't really have the decision making capacity to navigate that just yet. And that means it's not that uncommon for adolescents or any young people to have crushes on trusted adults in their lives, on adults who feel safe and who treat them well and show them attention. And because they're impulsive, it's not even that uncommon for them to act on it in some way by like telling you they're interested or maybe flirting to try using their body language to attract attention. And when that happens, that's just an adolescent being an adolescent. It's still the responsibility of the adult to set and maintain healthy boundaries. They also don't have the level of lived experience that an adult does. By the time you're in your, I don't know, by the time you're into your adulthood by a little bit, you've got experience starting relationships, ending relationships, seeing what feels good and safe and healthy, seeing what doesn't feel good. And so it's a lot easier for someone who's older in a relationship with a young person to say, this is just how relationships are. This is normal. And because that adolescent doesn't have that level of experience with relationships, they might not have any lived experience to counter that and advocate for themselves with. And then obviously, even with adults, that every clinical social work, therapist group, licensing agency has a code of ethics that prohibits relationships with clients, and the same thing with colleges. Even though most college students are adults, colleges have policies in place to keep teachers from having relationships with students. So that mentor or caregiver or teacher dynamic has power no matter how old someone is. And all of those together, brain development, lived experience, and that teacher and caregiver or a trusted adult dynamic really leaves that young person vulnerable to exploitation. Basically building a period of trust with them. And that can happen over one day, but it can also happen over years, which I think sometimes we fail to realize that grooming could go on for a really long time, which can then leave that young person very confused when the switch flips and the behavior starts to be sexually inappropriate. Because by that point, they trust this person so much and believe that this person is there for them that they can't imagine anything this person does would be to harm them. And so at the same time that sexual abusers and exploiters are grooming the parents or the child, or are grooming the child, the target, they're also often grooming the parents and the family, the community,